as an artist, before you've re-emerged as Matthew Collings, you were, and I think still are, part of the duo Biggs and Collings. Was that going on alongside this? How?
Well, that I'd already met Emma Biggs. So when I knew David, I knew Emma, and we were together. And after a couple of years, Emma was a mosaicist, and she still is. And I could tell that Emma had an amazing eye for color. And I just knew, although I don't have that eye myself, I knew that could be art. Emma does mosaics, and she doesn't think of it as in the art world. It's in the mosaic world or the craft world or something. I mean, I think that's an illusion, really, because it really is art. But I thought those colors could be art. They could be shapes, Why can't those colors be on canvases? So I would say to her, could you tell me some colors to put together and I'll just make some paintings, and that would be really good art, because I hadn't noticed anybody else in the YBAs who was much good at color. And she said, well, I'll do them with you, So we started collaborating and making these canvases, and people bought them straight away. So that was a bit in about the early 2000s. And we've kept it up ever since. It's nearly 25 years we've been doing it. And they're very highly abstract, very, very formal, very intricate patterned paintings where the vision is really Emma's. She mixes the colors and she tells me where to put them. I paint and she thinks them up. But she's the driving motor. I think she could probably work with somebody else and they'd be just as good, whereas I couldn't do them on my own because I don't have that complexity of ideas that she has about color. So in all the time I was doing them, I thought to myself, well, I am doing art. It's not really what I thought I'd be doing. It's not like the style that I was always doodling and drawing. I still really drew like I did as an adolescent, and as a child even. But there were doodles. I do them when I wasn't thinking, And that I had failed to make into art. All I could do as art was what I was doing with Emma. And as it went, it was very successful. People liked it. And we had a gallery and it was fine, So I accepted that I guess this is my life. I'm going to be doing TV, occasionally writing books, sometimes catalogs, and I'll be doing these paintings with Emma, and that's good enough.
So I think we should probably rush forward to what we might close to the present day, and because I'm quite aware of the time and the re-emergence of you as an artist. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about how that happened.
Well, the lockdown happened because of COVID, and this guy Matthew Burrows invented an Instagram artist support scheme called the Artist Support Pledge. I saw it existing, and I thought, I didn't think anything of it. There was no way I was ever going to put anything on there because I thought it would be embarrassing. If I put something out and no one bought it, that would be mortifying. And then, as I said, I was always doodling, and Emma and I were playing cards, and I doodled over the score when we were playing rummy. And I looked at the doodle, and it seemed quite nice. It was on the back of an envelope, so I photographed it and I posted it on the Artist Support Pledge. I thought, it's just a doodle. No one can really mock me if that doesn't sell. I haven't put any effort into it. And actually, it sold straight away to a guy who's since bought lots of things from me, and I've bought a few things by him as well. And when it sold, I thought, wow, okay, I'll put something else on. So by the time, at first I was hand delivering those things. Artists, drive to where they lived. I was so amazed that they would pay £200. And he lived in Hackney, and I said, oh, I'll come on Tuesday. But by the time Tuesday came, I'd sold about 8 or 9 other things. And so I had a lot of deliveries to make. And then suddenly I was selling 8 or 9 a day, and it was, I do remember that when I arrived, he did say, oh, it's very small. It really was this doodle on an envelope. And so to begin with, I was doing just sort of scraps. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was any old bits of painting I happened to be doing, because I was always still doing scruffy little bits. In fact, Xavier was kind enough to include me in a show of such scraps. He had a show, and I hadn't really found my style really then, the Matthew Collings sort of cartoon style. So for about a month or 6 weeks, I was selling bits and pieces. And then I drew this cartoon without really thinking about it, of de Kooning and Elaine de Kooning in de Kooning's studio. And Elaine's leaning in the doorway and smoking a cigarette and thinking of coming back to look after de Kooning. And that was the beginning, of alternative art history, where I started drawing everything that I knew, which was, believe me, such a lot, although not necessarily in a deep way, but I just know so much of these scenes and anecdotes and bits of history and ideas of art. To so much so that, as I say, I was able to draw 7 or 8 a day, and they'd all sell. So that within a relatively short time, I'd sold about 2,000 of these drawings.
2,000. That's remarkable.
In less than 2 years, yeah. And the appetite for them was very great, but soon the whole artist support pledge thing sort of drifted off a bit, you know. And I think anyone who's got involved in that scheme will tell you that around 2022, the sales lessened, and I don't sell nearly so much anymore. And I'm not really on it. I'm not on ASP at all now. I sell off my own back, and I sell them for 400 instead of 200. And I sell them maybe 1 a week or something, but not 8 a day. But now I have a different sort of life anyway, because I have exhibitions and I do paintings as well as drawing. So I did finally become this artist, drawing very much in the style that I'd always done, that was sort of quite recognizably these sign-like figures. You could tell straight away that they were human beings and they were in a space, you know. But they all had some. That's a picture of Van Gogh wandering into Charles and Doris Saatchi's house. The cat's pulling the straw off a kefir, where it says Marguerite.
Oh, yes, of course.
With Philip Guston on the wall, and Charles is holding a copy of Art News, and Van Gogh's holding a copy of Zola. But that's
are these one of the ASP drawings? This is a small drawing.
No, actually, I'd finished that the other day. But the ASP drawings were in this kind of style.
Okay.
I sent you a few drawings just from the last few weeks. I don't. That's Alice Neal drawing Keir Starmer and revealing what a fucking liar he is, you know.
So, Matthew, I think I might have one last question, and that is, are you an artist?
Oh, hello.
I am an artist.
Hello.
We know you now as Matthew Collings, the artist.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I don't think I know.
Yes, yeah. Good. Pleased to hear it. Thank you very much. That was really fantastic.